What is up, YouTube? How's it going today? Suna Yumi bringing you another Magic the Gathering video. Today we're playing some Historic because Historic is freed. No longer shall we have to battle through Teferi, the Time Raveler, or Wilderness Exclamation. We're next to the Fate. I don't mind that much about Winona, but the rest of those cards can go forever. And with Teferi Time Raveler gone, you know what's back in demand? Control decks with actual factual counterspells in them. So that's what we're playing today. We are playing some blue-white control here in Historic. If you guys enjoy what you're about to see, go ahead and leave a like down below. Comments with your deck lists or any suggestions you might have or things you didn't like, did like, yada yada yada. If you want to see more Historic content, standard content, Magic content in general, subscribe. So, main thing about this deck is it's only got a few win conditions. First and foremost, we have Teferi, Hero of Dominaria. But you know, fair Teferi. I'm just kidding, he's very fair. 5 mana, draws you cards, gets rid of permanents, and his emblem eventually just wins you the game. Besides that, we have 2 Shark Typhoons, which can be a 6-drop enchantment that kills them very quickly, or it can also just turn into a big shark if we need it to. We have 3 Castle Ardenvales over here, are also win conditions. And then finally we have something that's kind of weird. We have Warrant Warden over here. So normally we are casting this for the Warrant side. To put target attacking or blocking creature on top of the owner's library. Normally that's the attack creature. Especially with creatures that don't have ETBs, you know, questing beasts, elves, stuff like that. This is just a time walk for the opponent. The opponent taps out, they cast their spell, we put it right back on top, and they're going to draw it again next turn instead of drawing a fresh card. So it's a decent 2-mana removal spell in the same way that people play Azorius Charm in the Pioneer blue-white control lists. But the Warden half, just 5 mana, make a 4/4. It's, you know, it's not how we're going to be casting it very often, but when we do cast it, it's a win condition. So normally we're playing in the Warden, or Warrant half. Warden's just there for fun. Besides that, we have some Teferi Master of Times here. Draws lots of cards. Also helps us to control the board on our opponent's turn, because we can activate it twice a turn. 2 Narsets finishes off our Planeswalker suite. Just a good card. For removal, we have 2 Seal Away, and then 2 Swift Response. Questing Beast is a bit of a problem for this deck. We do have Elspeth Conquers Death and Shadow Sky over here to help take care of it. Is that good enough? I don't know. We'll find out. For counterspells, we have 4 Absorb because it's just the best counterspell in the format right now, I'd say. That 3 life is huge. 2 Neutralize, you know, just a counterspell you can cycle. It's better than Surveilling, stuff like that, in my opinion. And then finally, we just have 4 Ops down here to help hold the deck together. 1 Dovin's Veto is also kind of just sitting here as a fun of. It's just hanging out. It comes in handy. Land-based, we have our basics. We have our 12 duels, 2 Fabled Passages for the shuffles. We are playing, as you can see, 27 lands. But a lot of our lands do something special. Like I said, we have 3 Ardenvales, 1 Castle Vantress. And then we have 4 lands that cycle. We have our 1 white cycle land, 1 blue cycle land, and 2 Triomes. Worst comes worst, this is a tap land that makes our Glacial Fortresses and our castles come into play untapped. But in the late game, it's just, you know, 3 mana draw a card. Here our sideboard for Grafdigger's Cage for all the graveyard decks and the goblins. Baffling End is a little more removal. Aether Gust for all of the blue and green decks out there. 1 more Dovin's Veto for control. Timely for aggro. Mystical Dispute comes in against any blue decks, and then Dream Trawlers for anything we want an extra threat in. In testing, I brought in Dream Trawler in against I brought in against Goblins once to help close out games. I brought it against a mono black list. It's really good at racing. Most decks can't keep up with drawing or with us or with 10-point life swing. We do a 5 to them, we gain 5, we draw lots of cards. Not good enough for the main deck because there are some matchups it's just abhorrent in. Some matchups where a 6 mana 3/5 is just way too slow and we'd rather just control the board. We can never tap out for it. But in the matchups it's good. It is great. So let us hop in over here. And let's see how things go. Like I said, if you guys do enjoy, leave a like down below. Comment with your decks. What are you playing in Historic right now? How happy are you that Historic's finally free? Because let me tell you, I am so happy. I hate Teferi. Before Teferi was printed, I played Blue-White Control constantly. Teferi just became... Blue-White Control basically became a Blue-White Prison deck. We don't like that. Ignore my rank. I haven't played since... it's been 2 months since I played Magic, actually. I kind of just dropped it after everything got really crappy. It all started with Teferi. Now he's gone. And the world is free, and I'm a happy man. I tell you what, chat. Our opponent over here, Leonardo. This is a really slow hand. I think we mulligan this. These are all tap lands. We don't have a play until at least turn 4. So we'll mulligan here. And this we are going to keep. Only 2 lands, and Ardvale comes into play tapped, but we have an opt to help us get there. Shark Typhoon can also cycle if need be. We're going to put the Elspeth Conquers Death on bottom. It's just the least flexible card we have, so we'll see what our opponent's up to. Our opponent mulligan to 5. Wow, okay. Opponent's got some fancy sleeves over here. We've got our nice snow-covered mountains. Dinosaurs. We're gonna... Interesting. Play with our Puppet Jace. Some additional cost. Search your library for land. Put on the battlefield tapped. And they have a Marauding Raptor to run around with, huh? Okay. Opponent's getting their ramp on. Get some mountain. We're gonna opt here, looking for lands. And that's not a land. Alright. So now we're just going to play that. We're gonna cycle this secluded step on the end step. We need another blue source of mana. It's awkward, but it works, damn it. We'll pass the turn now. So they have a 2-3. All their cards cost a lot cheaper. I don't think they thought that through. I don't think they thought that through. So we could go ahead and slam Teferi here, but I mean, we're chilling. We don't have, don't have much of a clock. They only have 2 cards in hand, and that's a card we don't want them to resolve. It's big scary. And now all they have no cards in hand. They have a Marauding Raptor. We're just gonna get Hero Dominaria going, and our opponent scoops it up. All right.
Sorry, I'm late.
You weren't late. You were right on time. Oh, okay. Opponent just completely done with us. They did not want to play anymore. All right. We are rising in the ranks. You know, I find playing Magic while recording for YouTube so much easier than just playing Magic. Because I have to talk myself through all the plays, so I don't play very quickly. You get to slow down. You avoid a lot of play mistakes when you hang out and talk things through, you know? And it definitely makes it a lot better. Sometimes, not the best Magic player in the world. Sometimes I just throw my cards on the battlefield and don't think about it, but when you're recording, you definitely have to think about it, so it's good in that way. Alright. Nathan Brown. Hey, we could look him up on Instagram. I bet we'd find a Nathan Brown or two. We are on the play, and this hand's fine. We have a little bit of interaction, some big planeswalkers on the top. We're going to start with just a tap land. See what they're doing. Alright. I like these mountains. Very fancy. We're just gonna put a Skyline down. We don't need another Dominaria hero. Fancy mountains. Alright, well. They look to be on some... Oh, yeah, they are most certainly on a mono red. want a red kill me. We'll just go ahead and pass the turn. And like I said, this warrant card just kind of time walks our opponent. Next turn they're drawing a 2/2, you know? Elspeth Conquers Death. Kind of a dead card here. And honestly, knowing what they're going to draw here, we're just going to get Teferi going. We'll tick him up.
This isn't my first time being the hero.
We can get rid of Elspeth, because I don't think she's going to do anything this match. Immediately proven wrong. Alright. Yeah. See if they attack me or attack Teferi. They'll go for Teferi. Well, we'll take him up. Now he lives.
Respect your elders.
So we have options here. I think the option here is cast Hero of Dominaria. So we have two 2-mana removal spells to chill. And take up the Master of Time. We made a land drop this turn. I don't believe we have. Just kidding, we had. I was wrong. Lightning strike to my face, sure. Shocks my face. So we might just get burned out here. We're just gonna put that right back on top where it belongs. We'll activate this while we're here. So, good chance of us just getting burned out by the experimental frenzy. Okay, maybe not. Now we can get rid of experimental frenzy. Might be too little too late. We will see. They're out of land. Untap these two. Because now we can seal away one. Master of Time takes care of another. So we'll see what they have in hand, but we aren't technically dead here. Oh, nope, still not dead here. Well, phase that out. Seal away the other one. And so we're here at 2. Alright, didn't matter. Didn't matter. Fair enough, fair enough. So these two timely reinforcements, these two baffling ends, huge. Dovin's Veto, not great in this matchup. I'm pretty sure Elspeth Conqueror's Death only hits Experimental Frenzy, so we'll get that out of there. Bring in the Aether Gust. Probably trim one of each Planeswalker, go down a Narset as well. They're just slow and we'll get attacked down. Mystical Dispute does nothing. Dovin's Veto is not great. Dream Trawler is a consistent source of life gain. Might be better in Shark Typhoon here. Actually, we'll go down the other Narset and another Master of Time, bring in these two Dream Trawlers. Just the life game helps erase. And let's see how we do against the Meankin deck. We should probably get a new avatar while we're playing Blue-White Control. As, well, big Rakdos Demon dude does not signify Blue-White Control very well, but that's the point, chat. We knocked them off their feet. We confused them. Alright. How good is timely reinforcements? We're gonna find out. Opponent's mulligan to 6, mulligan to 5. Against a 5-card hand, probably pretty good. There's the Lava Runner. Sure. Well, now we just warrant the Lava Runner, and we have a great time. Do you want to? Did you want to attack with that opponent? No, no. Draw it again. Draw it again. I promise, you'll love it. It'll be great. So now, timely, not very good. We're gonna cycle this now. Hit and absorb. Awesome. Now we absorb their get to Lava Runner. Actually, nah. We'll absorb the Wizard's Lightning. How about instead I gain 3 life, opponent? Thanks. Good talk. It's a skewer, which I'll probably just cast, yeah. But now we just cast Timely Reinforcements, gain 6, get a bunch of tokens. And we're, yeah, opponent agrees. Timely. Pretty good card. 6 lands of Timely Reinforcements. That's all you need, chat. That's all you need. Okay, this might not be all you need, but damn it, it's most of what you need. Absorb helped. The Warrant helped. We just drew. We drew pretty well there. Opponent also mulligan a bunch. This hand's fine. We'll go tap land into Glacial Fortress and the castle. We're gonna hold the Triome up just in case we get to a place where we can cycle it. Steamkin, sure. We will Glacial Fortress pass the old turn. So it's on cast or on ETB? It's on cast. Sure. You can shock me. What else you got? We're gonna Aether Gust the Steamkin in response. So that way, Steamkin is one of the cards that hit up off light up stage or light up stage. And they have to make choices next turn. If they put, oh, they put it on bottom. Sure. Okay. Hitting up another light stage. So we're gonna hang on to Timely for now. Hold up our Neutralize. We're actually gonna let this resolve because it just turns Timely into a gain 6 and 3 1/1s. Also just gonna let this resolve. We're probably just gonna cycle a Triome here. Just cycle this to draw a card. Now we'll play the Temple to get our Scry on. We don't need an Ardenvale. We'll cast Timely, go back up to 20. And opponent scoops it up. Nice. Alright. Rough game 1, but games 2 and 3. Timely Reinforcements pulling us through. And we are doing pretty good right now. Not gonna lie. This deck has been crushing it on the ladder. The only deck we've lost to in my testing so far. Hey look, a random card. Witch's Cauldron. Sack a creature, you gain 1 life and draw a card. That's significantly worse than Witch's, or than the other Witch's Oven. The only deck we've lost to so far is a mono green deck. But they play Ugin and they play Ulamog, and I don't think we beat Ugin and Ulamog, chat. Don't think we do it. Oh, we got a long day of recording ahead of us. After I finish recording this, we're going to go play Halo Reach with UkeMaster1 on his Twitch. Twitch.tv/UkeMaster1 if you guys ever feel like watching live. We play Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. We're going to finish up Halo Reach today. FNM World Champion. Alright, down here in silver with the rest of us. Playing Amoria's there. Very interesting. We're gonna keep this. They're obviously a very heavy, or probably a creature deck, or they're an artifact deck. They could be a shrine deck. Chat, if our opponent's playing Amori Shrines, I'm gonna be the bad guy. Alright, we're gonna lead on this Triome. Lead on the Triome. Probably cycle Lonely Sandbar on turn 2. So as I said, we were playing 27 lands. When some of our lands have cycles or do other things, it's not a huge deal. Because we can just turn top deck cycle lands or top deck castles into actual things. Opponent's deep in thought about if they're mulliganing or not, or one of us disconnected. It is impossible to know. No rope has come up yet. I feel like we've disconnected. Oh, no. Hey, we didn't disconnect. I was just about to close the program and log back in. Alright. Goblins. Alright. This swift response is going to be good. This is our first time playing the Goblins match. And they have a lot of mana. I can make 3 1/1s. Well, now we're just going to get rid of it. 5 opponents. They no longer have... Ooh, that's a good pickup. I think here we're just going to play the island and pass. Plan on cycling some of these cards here. I don't think we're going to cycle the Shark Typhoon just yet. We're going to hang on to it and get a little more value out of it. Wonder what their white splash is for. Oof, Goblin Matron, such a good card. What are they getting here? Krenko, maybe? Ringleader? Might be a Ringleader. Would not be surprised if that was it. Another Prospector, sure. So now we cycle, pick up an Absorb, which is great. And we're not going to Shatter yet. We're going to try and get a little bit more. Honestly, if they have Muxus in hand right now, their plan here might be Skirt Prospector, sack their board, cast Muxus. And if that is their plan, Absorb's going to make them very sad. Some notable, while we're sitting here while our opponent makes their choices, oh, just going to attack. Interesting. Sure. Put a Mori in hand. We are going to fetch. Get ourselves an island. We're just going to make ourselves a nice 2-2 here. 2-2 is king on this board of 1/1s. Play a land, pass a turn. So anyways, some notable exclusions. Omen of the Seas is a card we've excluded. I just think Op's better right now. Omen of the Seas goes 1 deeper, but it's 1 more mana. So... pull out here. See what we find. Plains to the bottom. So they play Skirt Prospector, sack their entire board. They only have 4 mana, so yeah. We'll keep a Mori off the field here. And we can also cycle Secluded Steppes. But yeah, Omen of the Siege being 2 mana is, I think, just too big right now. Cycle this. Search for Azcanta. As you can see, we do fill our graveyard really well for Search for Azcanta. But And you could easily cut a land or two and play a search or two, like cut the secluded step right here, play search for Escanta. And, you know, it'd be about the same thing. One, two, three, four, five. Okay, yeah. So we can just counter that. Luminous Broodmoth. Alright. It's an interesting one. They can't cast Muxus here. Alright, so that was a wonderful draw. We are going to attack our opponent for 2. Going to attack our opponent for 2. We're sure gonna try. Our opponent knows what this means. Means I'm just gonna wipe their board here. Shutter. So yeah, you could totally cut like a secluded. That was loud. A secluded step or something like that to play. That's no big deal. Also no big deal. It's your last card, opponent. So they get to attack us for 3. Because of these absorbs, we are just fine. Hey, look, another one. And we'll just wipe their board again, hold up our 2 counter spells. If they play anything super threatening, aka Muxus, we'll take care of it right away. But we were in a pretty good spot, and our opponent agrees. They're going to pack it in. So we're going to bring on our Aether Gusts, our Baffling Ends, and our cages. Honestly, 4 cages might be too many for this sideboard. We'll find out here. It's really, I mean, we haven't played any other graveyard decks yet, so maybe if there are some big, powerful graveyard decks, we want to keep 4 cages. Conqueror's Death seems not great. We don't really want to be tapping out on turn 5 for anything. Narset's not good because it just gets attacked down. As we do in most aggressive matchups, we'll trim 1 of each of our Planeswalkers. And Dovin's... Oh, I almost forgot about Dovin's Veto. Get out of here. I don't think there's a single target to hit in this matchup. And so here, we have 1 card left, you can make a couple different choices. You can cut and opt. Or you can trim 1 more Teferi Master at a time. You don't want to go down to less than 2 Teferi Hero of Dominaria in most matchups because he's your primary win condition. But Master of Time, though he does have the pattern of ticking him up and then ticking him down to get rid of a creature is pretty good in these matchups. So we're going to go down to 1 opt. And we have these 2 Aether Gusts in here. Timely is a card you could bring in, but they're not super aggressive. So Timely won't shut them down as well as it did against the matchup we just played. Dream Trawler, if you want to race, which actually now I'm looking at it, maybe we do want to race. Maybe we bring in 2 Dream Trawlers, go down the 2 Masters of Times. Dream Trawler just kills them. And this kind of matchup, like obviously our opponent scooped it up last round because they were out of options, but sometimes you just need to tap out on turn 6 with a clock, hope they don't Muxus you, and then kill them as fast as possible. It's sometimes just what needs to be done. Easy mulligan, only 1 land. Also worth noting, our opponent's splashing white, so Cage is great in there. This is a great keep. We'll put the Triome to the bottom. We'll start on the tap land, island. I have a Prospector. And we will just play this here. So we want to keep hitting our land drops. I think we'll keep that on top. Next turn we'll go Temple into Cage. And they are close to having their nut draw here. If they had Muxus plus land in hand, their nut draw would be achieved. Aether Gust sounds great, but sadly for them we have an Graph Digger's Cage, so less great. Their nut draw less great. War Chief. Sure. Here we're just going to... Actually, we're probably going to play Ardenvale tapped. Just pass the turn. I don't think there's much reason to hold up Absorb. There's nothing they can play that we can't just Aether Gust. Would really like to top deck Shatter this guy here. Opponent puts it to the bottom. And we are getting hit for quite a bit here. We're going to opt to pass a turn. Yep, take 5 more. I put a Mori into hand, sure. And we're just going to Shark Typhoon here. And make another 2/2. We draw a castle, which comes into play tapped. That is not something I was paying attention to. I just saw all these dual lands and assumed it'd be untapped. Don't think it'll matter. We can't leave up double absorb anyways. We'll block the War Chief here, absorb whatever play they make, opt looking for Settle the Wreckage. Hopefully absorb can kick us, or can drag us kicking and screaming into this game. Wily Goblin. I think we just absorb that because it kills us. If we don't, we are dead. Let's see what they have follow-up. Another Skirt Prospector, sure. We'll take care of this guy here. Fall down to 3. We are not doing great, but we're not dead yet. Really need that shatter to this guy here. Ooh. Sometimes magic's hard, chat. Sometimes magic's hard. Put a planes to the bottom. But I mean, we play to our outs. That's what this deck does. They can't cast a Mori, so they have a Wily Goblin, sure. And that helps them cast a Mori, got it. Go get a plains with this. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So next turn we're going to castle to kill or trade with Wily Goblin, and then swift response the Amori. So swift response Amori. Make a castle 1/1. Block. And they have a Skirt Prospector, sure. Now we can hold up our absorb plus castle them, and we're, I think, pretty far into this ahead in this game now. They're not even going to attack because they know it would just die, which gives us the chance to make a 1/1. Another cage is not great here. We'll just pass a turn. And we have absorb for any big card they could draw. And they're not even attacking to keep us from making 1/1s? Okay. That's probably lights out. Remember that time I said you should have a... or you bring Dream Trawler in to finish games? That's what I meant. You bring Dream Trawler in to finish the game. And yeah, We are crushing the ladder right now with our blue-white control list. And Grafdigger, they never had Muxus there, but if they had, Grafdigger's Cage would have kept us in the game pretty well. So, looking pretty good right now with this blue-white control list. I am not sad about what's happening at all. I am glad the camera didn't make the deck start failing randomly. It's a good time. This deck feels pretty strong. And again, it's all possible to the loss of Teferi. Otherwise, we'd be playing for Teferi in this list and just be sad. And no one wants to be sad. You know? Being sad sucks. Anywho, though, moving on. Take a drink of my drink. We're now out of Coke. We get to be on the play here. And this hand's fine. We'll go tap castle into island, Narset. And Narset hopefully digs us into some action. It's a little slow. We don't have enough play until turn 3. Though we do have a cycle land to blah 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 draw a card with. Words are hard. We're playing an opponent up here in gold. Wow. You're just too good for the silver players, chat. Just too good. And like I said, we're just going to add Ardenvale tap, pass turn. Mono black aggro. Warrant, really good against Knight of the Ebon Legion. Okay, this card is so underrated in this format. It just times walks so many people. It was great in Goblin's matchup, as we saw in whatever game I was playing it in. It's great in this matchup. Just about to put this guy right back where he belongs. Also, my basics are prettier, opponent. Sorry. Okay, so we're playing against vampires. Vampires, we played against vampires once, and it was a super close matchup. If they aren't attacking here for some odd reason, oh, they could be playing around Seal Away. Okay. Oh, we're just gonna do this. Get rid of it. Untap. Play an island. Get Narset out here. And we're gonna activate her ability.
And prepare.
Woof. All right. 4 lands straight to the bottom. Well, I'm not sad about that because I did not want to draw those 4 lands. So this is basically an Ancient Tomb. Their Dusk Legion Zealot has done its job. It has drawn its card and lost them its life. So if they have a good 4-drop to play here, then we'll probably be Shattering next turn. Just a Gifted Aetherborn, sure. They're gonna hit Narset for 1.
Contain your
Sure.
rage.
Narset is now 3 mana, draw 2, and we're gonna play Blaze Fortress out. 3 mana, draw 2, gain a life. Not a bad card.
Prowess.
We'll take the Absorb here, and we'll just pass turn. If our opponent doesn't do anything to play around the Absorb, we'll make a 2/2 with our Shark type. We'll probably make something bigger than a 2/2. But we're just hanging out right now. We have the Shadow of the Sky hanging out in hand. Okay, that's a bit of a problem. Castle does do things. I have Knight of the Ebon Legion. That is not a card we want to really absorb. We'll take 3. Not a huge deal. And I think we're going to draw 2 with Opt in our with these cards instead of cycling our Shark Tycoon. We're gonna hang on to those for now. Opponent, let me draw my card. Opponent is holding up a Night Owl activation, so if we were to shatter this guy, they would draw a card off of it. It'd still be a 3 for 2, but not as good as a 3 for 1. Okay, we will opt. That's good, we have our 5th land now. So, Sorin's a nasty card. We are actually going to keep that just to answer Sorin. Sounds weird? It is weird. I accept this. We're just gonna keep hanging out here. Another land. I think we're gonna keep that. Just pass the turn. So I feel like in opponent's eyes, we would have shattered already if we had a shatter, which may lead them to opponent, which may lead them to overextend a little bit here. You know, this is a pretty good board to shatter. It does get rid of 3 of their creatures, but it would tap me out and allow them to stick a Sorin or something like that, so... yeah, we're also trying to bait our opponent. Maybe they will go a little too wide here and let us murder them. Another Knight of the Ebon Legion. Sure. Not a big deal. Let's see if they're going to pump this Knight. They are. Okay. So we're going to take 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we'll go take 7. This is a pretty good board to shatter. We're going to opt, draw our land off the top, play our land so we can Dovin's Veto the Planeswalker they have for backup. Sure. We're just going to opt, draw the land on top. They're going to draw their card. Put 2 counters on their Knights, which isn't going to matter much, but we are now going to 4 for 1 them with the Shadow this guy. Plus hold up Veto for the Planeswalker that I feel in my heart that they have. Feel it in the heart of hearts, chat. Feel it in my heart of hearts. And golly, our opponent really does like to play slow here. There we go. Sure, those can resolve. My turn. Swift Response is a really good card to have here. We're just going to shatter, get rid of their board, and pass turn. And Dovin's Veto is going to be great against their Planeswalker follow-up. I feel it in my heart, chat. One of these 3 cards is Sorin, because they've been sandbagging on us. We felt in our heart of hearts wrong, chat. Alright. Sure, we'll play a tap land. Castle we'll put to the bottom. Now we'll just Swift Response this, having Absorb up. Sadly, we're 1 mana on. If this wasn't a tap land, we wouldn't, or we'd be able to do all 3 of these, but it's fine. Let us take care of that now. We will take 1 off of it, but it's not a huge deal. We're at 7. 7 is better than 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, we probably shouldn't pass a turn like that. They can have something. I don't know. If they don't cast a spell into our Absorb that they know we have, we're probably just going to cast a Giant Shark. They might also have 3 removal spells here. Would not be surprised if they had like an eliminate or something. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. So cast this for 6. Tapping out. We get a nice 6/6 shark. Wouldn't be surprised if they remove it. No. You remove it now, you get a opponent. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not surprised by that. They weren't playing anything and they have 3 cards in hand, so the math makes sense. Now I'm kind of sad we could have held up Absorb and cast Shark Typhoon, just hard cast it, but we're still chilling. Everything is a-okay. We have our castle down here we get to start activating. We have an opt here to start drawing cards. We have 2 counter spells to keep them at bay. They're going to start spending life with their castle to draw more cards. But our Castle Ardenvale is going to pressure them just a little bit as they try and draw their cards. So I'm feeling pretty in control right now. Obviously, something huge could happen that changes that. They didn't activate Castle. Okay. Well, we will activate our Castle. Make a nice little 1/1. Are they going to kill my 1/1? Does opponent just have like 3 removal spells in hand? Not. They probably have a Murderous Rider that they're just hanging on to, waiting to tag a Planeswalker of some sort. Speaking of which, we have not found... Oh, okay, we found a Narset. I was about to say, we haven't seen any Planeswalkers. Another Absorb sounds fine. We have our threat, chat. Our clock has been doubled. Do we have enough mana to activate both? 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. We do have enough mana to activate both. And we have 3 counter spells in hand, so there is not a lot I'm scared of here. Sanctum Seeker. I would like to go up to 10 life, please. Let my clock beat, chat. We even get to leave up Dovin's Veto. Hot damn. And the turn, now we have Elspeth's Conqueror's Death. If they land anything big, they're gonna start making our clock even faster. Good, opponents. You draw your cards. I'm proud of you. If they play something that we can just Conqueror's Death, sure, that's a 5 mana 4/4 that draws a card. That's just gonna get Conqueror's Death, so that's not a big deal. That's kind of more of a big deal. We're gonna get rid of that. We still have an answer up in case they have one of their Planeswalkers. Demonic Embrace. How about you don't? Now with Conqueror's Death, take care of the champion. And we'll Teferi here.
Let's make this quick.
Just discard a card, yep. That way we can have his -3 if need be. Elspeth Conqueror's Death will... Sure, they have the Sorin. You can just attack the Sorin for 2 here.
Uncultured monsters.
He called me uncultured. How dare he? So now we go ahead and just attack Sorin for 2. That way if they draw something big, they have to all attack Sorin. Bop. Bow. This has been a very long game of Magic, but I don't think there's been a moment there hasn't really been a moment that I've been scared of something our opponent can do, so we're pretty in control right now, not a whole lot happening. If they don't use their Sorin to put their Vampire in play, we just probably absorb it. They are paying mana to slowly kill themselves. We now have them on a 3-turn clock. Agonizing Remorse, he says. I mean, they take our Narset if we don't, so we just do that. We make ourselves a 1/1. We draw a Seal Away. This activates popping Narset into play. That's why we counter the Agonizing Remorse.
I know 88 ways to defeat you.
So now Narset gets to start doing her thing.
Just the trick for this.
We'll take a Neutralize. We'll take up our Teferi. Get rid of this land. And our opponent scoops it up. Alright, good stuff. Good stuff. Here, we'll bring in our Baffling Ends. We'll go down to Dovin's Veto. One of the Narsets. Dream Trawler is, again, a card we want to bring in this matchup. Good at racing. We'll go down the other Narset. Take out a Teferi, Master of Time. Timely doesn't do much. Aether Gust doesn't do much. Dispute, no. Narset, Teferi already taken out. Veto, no. And didn't see much for Cage, so... yeah, I think this is the best. Unless they bring in some crazy stuff out of their sideboard, I think this is our best constructed deck. Wouldn't be surprised if they brought in the 4-mana Liliana that makes us discard. I've seen that out of Vampires before. And if their plan is to bring in a bunch of Planeswalkers against us, we'll probably bring in those 2 Dovin's Vetoes. Just as a nice clean answer to the Planeswalkers. But we will see what happens. We might have won that first match, but that does not mean we were without mistakes, chat. We could have held that Shark Typhoon up and played it with Absorb Backup if we had just been a little more patient. This hand's great. Has cantrip, has a bit of an answer, has some top end power. I am quite I'm telling you, chat, this is like the most underrated card in historic blue-white control. Opponent has Agonizing Remorse. Sure. They can take whatever they want here. They have to read Warden, look at Shatter. We have 2 good top-end threats, so they take Teferi, sure. Now we just get to opt. And I'm okay with that. Temple's not the worst card in the world here. Seal Away, another 2-mana removal spell. We're just going to play the Temple tapped. We're going to bottom the lands. If there are not more lands in the top part of our deck, then I guess that was a mistake, but we're in no rush to get up to Dream Trawler. We're chilling pretty well right now. If they have a Sorin here, Gifted Aetherborn, sure. So that's to say, if they have a Sorin here, we are in a bit of a tough spot, but they didn't, so we're fine for now. We're probably just going to warrant this Gifted Aetherborn, depending on what they play here. Sanctum Seeker, yeah. So now they're going to draw Gifted Aetherborn. And then we will seal away the Sanctum Seeker. We have another land. We will take care of Yield Sanctum Seeker. Take 1 point of life. They'll play their Gifted Aetherborn out. Sure. Remember when I bottomed a land saying I'll probably have more lands in the top part of my library? I remember. I remember. So we might just 1-for-1 to shadow this guy. If one of their last cards in hand is the vampire that draws cards based on the amount of vampires you have, limiting the vampires that they do have so that they draw less cards is fine. So we're going to do that. Just kind of specking just in case their last card is a 5-mana 4/4 that draws cards. Virulent Plague, he says. We don't really care about that card, but I just want to use my mana. We don't have any counterspells in hand, so we're just going to take care of that now. Drana. Alright, opponent. You have a Drana, I have a Dream Trawler. We will see who wins the exchange, okay? Honestly, I forgot this card was in the format. Drana's a pretty... I used to play Drana back in Standard. I used to play a black-white allies list. Man. Zendikar Standard. What a time you were. Back when Magic was simpler. Back when Jeskai Nahiri... Well, this is a little after. When was Nahiri printed? In one of the Eldritch Moods, or one of the Innistrad sets. Back when Jeskai Nahiri flooping in an Emrakul was good. Those were the days. Those were the days. So, honestly, if our opponent has an answer to Dream Trawler... Ooh. Veto's a pretty scary card. I mean, it's gonna die here, but it's scary. We will take that. No opponent. Bad. And we're not even gonna attack. We are playing the defense. Opponent only has 2 cards in hand, so we are chilling. Might have been wrong to not attack there. Our Dream Trawler erases their Drana pretty well. Plus we have a Shatter the Sky to back it up. If worse did come to worse, but I think playing it slow and safe is definitely better than trying to rush things. Okay, so now they have a Sorin.
Defeating you will not bring me pleasure.
And their Sorin puts in...
Welcome
Alright.
to the family.
Draws 2. We're going to attack their Sorin, so they have to choose between Drana and Sorin here. Swift Response is a fabulous pickup. So we're now up to 21. They have the land. They now get to attack with both. But we Swift Response Drana. Kick that girl in the face! She draws a girl, right? I think she... And opponent scoops it up. Alright. And ladies and gentlemen, we have gone from silver up to gold. Making progress. Alright. That was some good testing. Take a quick... do a quick wrap up on the deck here. So, blue-white control. Things I want to test. It might be worth it to go down a land or two, put in a few search for his contests. That's not gonna work. Search for Azcanta. So it might be worth it to try play a few search for his contests. Going down to 26 or 25 lands. We do want to hit 5 pretty consistently, but search would help with that. The other thing I don't think might not be worth it is playing all 4 Grafdigger's Cage. But besides that, I really like how the sideboard was built. Had pretty good answers to anything. Going down to Grafdigger's Cage to put a 5th Wrath in might not be the worst. I feel like we held our own pretty good against all these creature decks, but a 5th Wrath never really hurts. Time Wipe plus Dream Trawler is also what one would call a combo. But list as constructed, I was pretty content with what we were doing here, kids. Pretty content. If you're looking to play a control deck here in Historic, this is definitely where I would start. We mopped the floor with ladder pretty well today. And if you're playing blue and white, Warrant is a card I would definitely look at. We didn't cast the Warden half once this session. But you saw the power of putting Grim Lavamancer, not Grim Lavamancer, the other Lavamancer, whatever the heck he's called, the 1 mana 1/2 that turns into a 2/2. You know what I'm talking about, chat. The power of putting that on top, the Knight of the Ebon Legion, stuff like that. Putting those cards on top with warrants and basically time walking our opponent for a turn is huge. So, yeah, if you guys did enjoy it, again, leave a like down below. It'd be much appreciated. Subscribe for more Magic content. We are going to be diving headlong into Historic now that Teferi and Wilderness Recreation are gone. And we will be seeing you all in the next whatever I put up next. I don't know. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you later. Peace.